I'm here at the Massachusetts Conference for Women, and I am speaking with
Maria Marlowe.
Maria. I'm going to put it right there so you can see. Maria is a speaker and an author, and she has some very interesting books, which I'm going to show you. The Real Food Grocery Guide, which really does tell you how to navigate the grocery store. And then she has a Be Healthy Everyday Weekly Day Planner. So, as you know, my audience, or our audience, is basically women who are 40 or plus in general. So, are there some tips that you can say to women when they go in the grocery store at that point in life? What should they be looking for?
My best piece of advice is to spend the majority of your time grocery shopping in the produce section. That's really where you want the bulk of your food to come from. And if you think about your plate like a pie chart, I always recommend that 50 to 75% of your plate is made up of vegetables.
So 3/4 of your plate is going to be veggies. Now tell me, one of the big things that people have issues with and confusion about is the organic story. What are your thoughts on organic, and how do they select what they want to pay a little extra for?
That's a great question. So when it comes to organic, in an ideal world, everything we would eat would be organic, but we don't live in an ideal world. So every year, the Environmental Working Group puts out a list called the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15 list. And so what they do is they test all of the produce, the most common produce from across the country that's in grocery stores, and they rank the produce in terms of what has the highest amount of pesticide residue and the most toxic pesticide residue to the least. So the ones that make it on that Dirty Dozen, which is now the Dirty Dozen Plus list, so there's 2 extra, those are foods that are typically covered in a lot of agricultural chemicals that you're going to want to buy organic. And then for the other foods, that's where you can buy conventional and feel a little bit better about, because they don't have as high a chemical load as those Dirty Dozen foods.
And what things do you tell people absolutely avoid? Okay, you're going to get the vegetables, the ones that are the cleanest, you're going to eat those, and the ones that are dirty, you're going to get organic. But what things that are in the grocery stores you just plain avoid?
So that means
The packaged food aisle is a little bit of a landmine, and that's the area of the grocery store that does typically take up the most space, right? But that's where you want to spend the least amount of time. And my number one tip for buying packaged food, because of course it's 2018, we're going to buy packaged food, that's okay, it's you want to look for quality. And the first place that you want to look is the ingredient list. Bypass the calorie count, bypass the fat. I know we're so trained to go look at that nutrition facts panel first, but we want to make sure that we're eating real ingredients, not chemicals, and not a ton of sugar. So look in that ingredient list. If it has ingredients that are foods that you would stock in your kitchen on their own, it's probably a plus. If they're ingredients you don't understand, never seen them before, don't know what they are, those are things you're going to want to leave on the shelf.
Can't pronounce it, don't eat it.
Exactly. But even some things you can pronounce, like yellow number 5, I wouldn't want to eat that.
I would stay away from that. Any other comments you'd like to make, or tips for women?
Yes, sugar. So sugar is something, I know it tastes sweet, I know it tastes good, but that's something we really need to limit and avoid in our diet, especially as we get older. And it's really important to choose low glycemic foods that are going to keep our blood sugar stable and our hormones stable.
Things that are absorbed more slowly, as opposed to give you a real fast spike in your sugar.
Exactly. So whole foods, whole ingredients are good, but not just like sugary desserts. Yes, we know those are not great, but things that are refined, such as crackers and breads and cereals and things like that, refined flours, refined grains, those are also high glycemic. So those are things that we really want to limit or avoid and focus on whole, real foods that are going to keep our blood sugar stable.
Do you have a website?
I do. It's mariamarlowe.com, and Marlowe has a W-E at the end.
Let's make this simple for people. Okay. I really appreciate it. It's very nice talking with you.
Thanks for having me.